Okay, so let's take it to the next level. Let's see it. Let's see what you think about this one. Okay, it says this is quatrain, or let's see, this is century 1, quatrain 63. Okay, and it says here,
Pestilence extinguished, the world becomes smaller. For a long time, the land will be inhabited peacefully. People will travel safely through the sky, land, and sea. Then wars will start up again.
now take a look at this one. It's not hard to see that. Okay, it says pestilence extinguished, the world becomes smaller. Now this part here that says the world becomes smaller was kind of the lead in, okay, again. And I think this one was actually predicted by other, this one was analyzed by other people other than me. They came to the same conclusion that I did, okay? But the world becomes smaller is a reference to, the advent of human flight and the building of bigger and bigger airplanes. Okay, so the world became smaller. There was globalization was happening. It says for a long time the land will be inhabited peacefully. And after the time of World War One, which at the time they called it the Great War, and most people were under the impression that that was the last war of humanity, that we would never have a global conflict again. The idea of World War II was not in people's minds. Okay, people thought we're in an age of peace. Okay, and for a long time they were. Okay, now it also says here, people will travel safely through the sky, land, and sea. Then wars will start up again. Now people were able to travel because of the fact that the war was over, because World War One had ended. People were able to travel from country to country with little trouble because they were, it was cheaper to get there, it was easier to go, and people were, traveling all over the place. Now they, were building bigger and bigger ships, and the planes were getting larger, and people were starting to have passenger flights around the world, or around to other countries, flying across, from America to Europe to wherever, right? People were traveling more, okay? Now, and here's another point to bring up, okay? It says people will travel safely through the sky, land, and sea. So even if you're a skeptic of Nostradamus, even if you don't think any of these add up to anything, you're gonna have to admit that he, at the very least, predicted that people would fly in machines, okay? And there's other quatrains that pertain to human flight and different machines that people would use to fly, okay? So, even if you're skeptical, even up to now, the prediction of flight is a pretty big deal, okay? Once people started flying, it was just real. Nowadays you look up in the sky and you see 10 airplanes flying all different ways, and they're all different altitudes, they're all different sizes flying around. Nobody thinks anything of it, but prior to the invention of flight, it was a far-fetched notion that this was even possible, okay? And so for 1555 to be predicting things like people flying around, a lot of people back in the days of Nostradamus thought that he was a madman, thought that he was crazy, thought that all these quatrains were just total madness. Okay, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but okay, so but the pestilence extinguished, the world becomes smaller. For a long time, the land will be inhabited peacefully, and people will travel safely through the sky, land, and sea. Then wars will start up again. And now it says, then wars will start up again. Well, when World War II broke out, it was a global conflict with multiple fronts all over the planet. Okay, it was a war that ranged everywhere. Now, is there another time period in history? Could you put this this quatrain at a different point in history where it fits better? I don't think so. Okay, I don't think that this is gonna fit in other time periods. Okay, it's just not. It's not gonna go. Okay, and that's, I keep trying to bring this up, but this is where you know, this ambiguity talk of, well, Nostradamus, he just put these quatrains together and, they could mean anything. This one's pretty specific to a specific event, okay? So let's move on.